welcome back to Tuesdays with Theodore. Today is Tuesday, and I'm Theodore. This week's topic is teaching kids about gender. When and if we have children, how would we go about teaching them about gender? I think something really important to keep in mind, just like in general, is you need to make sure that your kids feel like they can come to you and ask questions and that they're not going to be shunned or made fun of or anything for asking those questions. Because when you're learning about something, you really need to feel like you can ask questions because you're only being given a certain amount of information, and if you can't ask questions, then you're only kind of getting halfway. You're not going to the full extent that you could, because you can't expand on anything and you can't confirm anything that you're confused about. You can't hone in on the certain things that you're more interested in or that you think are more important or anything like that. So I think that it's super important to create an environment where your kids feel safe and like they can come to you no matter what. Basically, I wouldn't let my kids get the gender binary and the whole genitalia equals gender thing stuck in their head and then sit them down and be like, everything's a lie. I wouldn't do that. I'd teach them right from the start. I just integrate it in the ways that I talk and the ways that I interact with them, saying things instead of saying both genders, say all genders, instead of saying either gender, say any gender. Little things like that so many people say that don't even realize that they're enforcing the gender binary. I'd try and get them to question things like, just because that person is wearing a skirt, does that really mean that they're a girl? Do the clothes that a person is wearing, does that determine their gender? No, it doesn't. So I'd kind of get them to question that and be a critical thinker in that way and not just take the whole appearance equals gender, you know what I mean? And going along with the whole genitalia doesn't equal gender, I'd also make sure that they were very well informed about intersex people, because I was not taught about intersex people. I learned about intersex people on my own just not that long ago even, and I'm still learning a lot. I still don't know very much about intersex people, so it's super important that kids understand and learn from a young age that genitals are not, one or the other. It's not a binary, it's an entire spectrum, and it has nothing to do with a person's gender. And obviously, I'd keep it simple when they were younger and expand and get more detailed and elaborate as they got older and as they had more questions. So yeah, I teach them that, genitalia does not equal gender, and presentation does not equal gender. Any of those factors that so many people say make up gender really have no impact on what a person's gender really is. And I'd also make sure to differentiate between sexual and romantic orientation and gender identity, and the two are really not the same at all. They're completely different things, but unfortunately that is a very large confusion that a lot of people have. And another thing, I would also make sure, the way that I talk to people around them and the way that I talk to them, I'd also make sure that when I met a new person, I'd ask what their pronouns were as well as their name, so that they would get in the habit of doing that instead of just assuming people's genders. I mean, not just because I was trying to teach my kids about gender, because that's what you're supposed to do, but I'd make sure that they knew that's what you're supposed to do, instead of just assuming someone's pronouns and gender based on what they look like and the way that they're acting and a bunch of different other factors that don't determine gender at all. And all in all, I'd make sure that no matter what, they feel their gender is important and valid, and even if it's confusing or complicated or they're unsure of it or they have no idea or whatever, that it's okay. And gender is a process, and figuring it out it takes a long time, and that's okay. So yeah, I hope that this was a super helpful video. And also, I think since Eli has dyed his hair, Tuesdays on AmbiguiT, guys, is just snazzy hair day. So I hope that this video was helpful. Also, another thing I wanted to say in this video is I've seen a lot of people lately anyways talking about using they them pronouns for their children until they decide to use different pronouns, if they do at all. And I just wanted to put that out there and kind of ask you guys what you think about that, and would you do that for your children? Would you use they them pronouns for your kids until they decided to use or try out different ones? I think it could spark some interesting conversations. So yeah, leave a comment if you feel so inclined. And don't forget to check out the AmbiguiT guys Tumblr account, and don't forget to subscribe either. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye!